The iPad guy is back, baby. It's iPad time once more, 10th gen. I like talking about iPads. If you watched any of my LTT reviews on the iPad Pro or the iPad Air or whatever, you know that I have opinions. And there are some opinions to form about this guy because they made some changes, let's just say. This is the 10th gen base model iPad. Who packaged this? If this was Apple, I'm writing a letter. It doesn't even fit in there, just kidding. Someone put that back in there. This is out. There we go. That's what I wanna see. Yeah, it's the 10th gen iPad, and Apple is continuing their design philosophy of kind of taking this like flat, square design and passing it down from the iPad Pro to its children. It's a hand-me-down design. Yeah, it feels good. The bezel situation seems to be very close to what the iPad Air is. You can kind of see there, the bezels are still sort of thick, but we do have this flat design. What do we have on the outside? Up here we got 2 speaker grills. Touch ID sensor / power button up top to replace the home button that used to be down here. On this side, we got the 2 volume keys. On the bottom, 2 speakers again, and the USB-C port, that's new. This is the last iPod model to be updated with USB-C. It's in the iPad Pro and the iPad Air. There is also no headphone jack. The 9th gen iPad was the last iPad to have that, and now all the newer models do not have a headphone jack anymore. On this side, we got the smart connector to connect to accessories like that Magic Keyboard. On the opposite side of the smart connector is, what's this? A camera on the landscape side. This is the first iPad to have that as well. Normally the camera is over here on the top, and now they have made the decision to move the camera to this side because people are using it in landscape to like FaceTime and stuff. This was the scandal. There were many tweets about the fact that the camera is here now, so that means you can't attach a pencil there. On the iPad Air and Pro, the way you charge the Apple Pencil, the 2nd gen one, which is magnetic, is it snaps to this side. But because they put a camera module there, they can't put the charging mechanism there, which means that it doesn't support that 2nd gen pencil. We'll get into that. There's a dongle situation. I have thoughts, but that's where the camera is. Also, this is a 12 megapixel landscape, ultra, whatever they call it, wide view camera. I think it's 122 FOV. On the back, this used to be an 8 megapixel camera, and now it's upgraded to 12 megapixels. So that's the exterior, and then I don't know what that is. It's a flash? You can blind your family while taking photos. I think I got it. We got a power adapter and a USB-C to C. We're all C all the time, except when it comes to the iPhones. That'll change next year though. Are we excited? Now, we don't just have the iPad today, we also have another related thing that has also gotten an upgrade and some changes. Side grades, I don't know what you call it. It's a Magic Keyboard, but it's not as fancy as the floaty Magic Keyboard that the iPad Pros get. That was cool. Do you remember that? That was shocking. What's wrong with you? Why can't I just have some fun? Ah, and then you put this here, and then, so there it is. Keyboard folio. This Magic Keyboard folio is weird this year. I didn't break it. They just copied the Surface Pro situation. You got the back part of the folio, and then that's going to snap on to this, but you need the iPad, I guess. The iPad connects, but then you can also snap this guy on? Is that just magnets? Okay. And there's also a kickstand. Is this an Apple Surface Pro? Oh my gosh, I can't wait to do all of my important professional work on this computer right after we talk about our sponsor. dbrand sent us another iPad and have defaced it in some way or applied a face, enfaced it. And what am I supposed to do? Just look at it? Let's see what they did. It's a dramatic reveal. I'm scared. Ugh, what? Is this a skin or is this a show? I just saw it. Maybe you saw it already, viewer. There it is. Short Linus, cause he's such a small man. dbrand skins are made from high quality 3M vinyl that is true texture. The patented adhesive is guaranteed to leave no residue on your device if you want to change the skin, so that's good. And their grip cases for your phone or AirPods or other things are super durable and fit snug, just like Linus's sandals. Go to shortlinus.com, it's a funny URL, and buy your overpriced stickers today. They spend a lot of money on that URL, so they gotta make their money back somewhere. They need your help. Please help the poor people people at dbrand. The Surface Pro's, wobbly bit here lays flat when you put it down. So you can take the tablet and just kind of stick it on. Oh, that worked. Sometimes when I come at it from the wrong angle, it like takes a sec, it won't connect. And then it's connected to the back. Apple's really gone downhill. The next thing is the fact that this doesn't go back very far. Like, if they wanted to be Surface Pro, if they wanted to copy Surface Pro, they have multiple angles and that's fine, but Microsoft makes such a big deal about this hinge like going all the way back, blah, like I wanna push it down, go! There's one more thing, this thing right here. What is this, a MacBook of some variety? No, it's a Magic Keyboard for an iPad. Everyone made a big deal about the iPad Pro's Magic Keyboard not having an escape button or, these function row keys, but they're here now. This is the weird thing that Apple does with their products is that they will release a lower tier product after a higher tier product, and the lower tier product will have a more premium feature that the higher tier product lacks until they add it next year. Let's talk about some of the specs while I'm setting this up here. This has the A14 Bionic SoC inside it, upgraded from the A13 Bionic in the 9th gen iPad, but it doesn't have the A15, which was included in the iPad mini, but I can understand it. This is the base model iPad. This is the one you give your mom, and your mom's not gonna use all that horsepower. Just kidding. I don't wanna say it's just for moms. The thing that's missing that's important to point out here, that I have to talk about it now. I was gonna talk about it later. Stage Manager. The big cool new feature for iPad OS where you can have windowed apps, that's not here. They initially were saying that feature wouldn't come to lower model iPads because of a limitation with RAM or the processor requirements or whatever. So I'm sure that's what they're saying this time, but it is really weird for them to essentially have iPad OS with all the bells and whistles, a keyboard accessory that turns it basically into a laptop, but leave out that feature that makes it more of like a computer situation. So that's weird. And I actually haven't tried it out yet, so I was looking forward to doing that, and now I can't, and I'm upset. But to make that a little bit better, let's look at the display because it has been upgraded. We got a 2360 by 1640 resolution, 264 pixels per square inch, which means, I guess in Apple's logic, that means that it's a liquid retina display, which is the same thing as the other iPads. So it's upgraded in more ways than one. The display gets up to 500 nits brightness, which I guess, you're not gonna be using this outside. I hope you're not. You know how you have like inside cats and outside cats? The iPad is an inside cat. If you're using your iPad with this stuff, sitting on a park bench because you have work to do, fine. That's fine. It's weird, but I'll allow it. But if you're just sitting on a park bench, going like on your iPad, I'm like, go home, get a room. I wanna be clear that this is more of a bit than any sort of like earnestly held belief on my part, but hey, comment below if you have thoughts about that. But everyone knows that the coolest thing to do with your iPad is take photos with it while you're lounging inappropriately at the park. Ready guys? 3, 2, 1. Oh, that was good. Stabilization? Whew. Oh my gosh, I'm at the event. And I gotta see up front because I'm holding my iPad up in front of everyone else so they can't actually see what's going on. They can just see what's on my iPad screen. And wow, thank you so much, son, for getting me this iPad. I love it. I take it everywhere. I bought my mom an iPad. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on because this is now a teleconferencing device. And it's even better because look at this, we're centered. The camera is centered perfectly in the thing. Does it really bother people that much if the camera is over here instead of up here? It's got center stage, so I can go away, leave me alone. Stop, Apple, stop it. Apparently we have this technology that makes it look as if you're looking at the camera. I've heard about that, I didn't know, is that released? The only time I ever really use Apple products in any real respect is when I unbox them on ShortCircuit. Ready? We're having so much fun, yeah! You could have done better, Jake. My eyes are closed. It's an iPad camera, I got no complaints. Here is iPad video. Thank you for coming to this video call. I'm disappointed, frankly, in your performance, which is why I put you down here and I'm up here talking to you. I think I've encountered this before on iPads, but it is super confusing because when you think about the iPad in portrait mode, where's the power button? Up here, right? The volume button closest to the Touch ID sensor is volume up. When it's in landscape, It's the opposite. That's really confusing to me as someone who is used to kind of just like feeling where the button is and pressing it, and regardless of what orientation the device is in.
You're not supposed to use the phone's landscape.
Anyways, I can get over it this time to continue the crab rave because I love them so much. You know, as usual, Apple has like the best iPad speakers, or tablet speakers at the very least, and I think even their phone speakers are like the best, right? What are they doing? What's their special sauce? But I do wanna confirm whether these are both speakers or not. From my very technical testing, I've determined that this is a speaker and this is not. Can you see that? The screen is as, you know, amazing based on crab rave, which is our, how we test. Will artists be able to use this instead of like the iPad Air or the iPad Pro? Well, that's a good question. One that we're not fully able to answer on this short circuit, but we can talk about the pencil support because this is interesting. Apple has the first gen pencil, which is right here, other way. And you know, when this launched, it was so funny because the way you're supposed to charge it is by literally inserting it into the iPad like this. So then your iPad would be sitting there with the pencil sitting out. And then Apple fixed that by releasing the second gen Apple Pencil, which charges magnetically, as I said earlier. However, we've moved the camera over here, which means that we can't magnetically attach the second gen pencil to that side. Instead, it only supports the first gen pencil, but, this iPad has a USB-C port instead of Lightning, so you can't directly plug it in like that. You need the dongle, the $9 dongle. The only other way I could think of them that they could do it, they make a dongle that goes from USB-C to like a little charging cradle for the second gen pencil. So then you could just, you could use the second gen pencil. If you're gonna have a dongle to use a pencil anyways, it would make sense to have like a dongle that allows you to use the new pencil. But then the question comes up, is there something about the display technology here that doesn't support the second gen pencil? And I am not equipped to answer that question. It might be the case that I'm thinking way too hard about all this, you know? This is the base model iPad. Maybe this isn't like the most technically advanced iPad you can ever get, but it comes in fun colors. There's pink, there's blue, there's yellow or silver. And if I didn't mention that, Horst would kill me. And so we have to remember at the end of the day that this is for, this isn't for the pros, this isn't for the people who are like, I need a capable machine to draw my professional diagrams and stuff. It's for, the people who want one of the cheaper iPads. But if you consider that's another interesting thing because this is $450. That's a big jump up from $329 that the 9th gen iPad launched at. This keyboard folio is $249. This should be way less, this should be like under 100. This should be under 100 for this thing. I'm sorry. I think that they're overpriced. I think that iPads always will be overpriced. But like, it's weird. I have this weird relationship with Apple iPads where I think that like they're overpriced and like people really shouldn't buy them unless they like don't have any other options and they're not really tech literate. But I love them at the same time. I want to get an iPad and customize it and use iPad OS and use Stage Manager. So this wouldn't be the right one because it doesn't support Stage Manager. But the platform is really interesting. It's smooth, it's user-friendly, it's pretty. And one thing I didn't mention is that this keyboard, it's a Magic Keyboard. It's a very distinct bump when you type on it. Feels good to me. In conclusion, it's the somewhat similar conclusion to the one that I always do, which is iPads are really, really cool. I love playing with iPads. I want Apple to continue making iPads, and I want rich people with lots of expendable income to keep buying them so that they keep developing this form factor. Maybe eventually it'll be less expensive. Maybe it'll make a little bit more sense as they keep adding these desktop features, but you should probably still get the 9th gen one. And you should also check out another video from ShortCircuit. Watch one of our iPad videos from recently. Watch my iPad mini one. I talked about how it can be a phone, but not really, so you probably shouldn't use it like that.